Dear learners, let's start the lecture 2 of module 6 related with our marketing course, the art and science of marketing from basics to breakthrough. So module 6, week 6, we are dealing with the brand, positioning and equity. And the lecture 2 of this module is specifically talking about the brand decision or branding decisions which marketer has to take for. So I, Asutosh Mohan, Associate Professor, Institute of Management Studies, Banaras Hindu University, welcome you on a very exciting and a happy learning journey of branding decisions. Remember, these decisions are very crucial which can make or break the prospect of any organization if organization is intent to go for brand for their product, for their services. Okay, so let's start with learning objective usually we have in the beginning of our lectures. So what is, or better to say, what are our session agenda? Again, I am having only two agenda because these two agenda are quite heavy to make you understand the nitty-gritty of branding decisions. So first agenda is identify the key elements of branding decision, and the second one is to understand the strategic implication of each brand name decision, because brand name is something which is very crucial to understand, which is very crucial to know, and we try to find out the details related with our two session agenda. Let's start with a story, usual story. Just imagine two companies or even one single company is offering two different kind of bottled water. One bottled water, they are simply saying it's a pure mineral water packaged in a simple bottle and priced at a market price or ongoing market price. The same company or maybe another company is offering the bottled water but claiming it's a Himalayan spring water with such a elegant and beautiful packaging where bottle creates an impression of luxury, bottle creates an impression of real freshness inbuilt or infused in the Himalayan spring water, and company is charging the premium price. Imagine the situation, but this is the fact and this is what we are witnessing. So for Himalayan spring water packaged in a premium manner, priced with a premium price, people are ready to buy. Why? Why people are ready to buy? People are purchasing heavily. Why is it so? That is due to we are not selling, we are actually positioning. The same company or two different companies selling water in a two different manner and created two different kind of image in the mind of customer and accordingly reaping the advantage. One is selling as a going market price without charging any premium price. The other is selling with certain distinctive feature created in the mind of customer and leveraging the benefit of that distinction. That's the positioning. So it's not selling, it's a positioning. How you position your product, how you actually showcase your product, that's what you are getting in terms of advantage. So what's the branding decisions are, or what are our branding decisions? So branding decisions basically, if we try to define, It's a strategic choices. Why strategic? Because once you decide that you are going to brand your product, brand is not for shorter duration. The decision of branding is for long time orientation. Decision of branding is having long time horizon. So if you decide to brand, then it becomes a strategic choice of organization, and how your products are branded and presented, that's a very crucial thing which you need to design. So you need to think in terms of science, and you need to infuse art to make this distinction acceptable at marketplace. So what are going to be the key decisions? The first decision, brand or not to brand. Then what are or who is going to be sponsor of that brand? Then what is going to be the name of brand, and what will be the market alignments which company wish to go for a brand, and that talks about branding strategies, that talks about the different possible strategies organization may opt for. So in a very specific manner, we have 5 specific branding decisions. The first one, brand or not to brand. The second one, the brand sponsorship decision. The third one, the brand name decision. Fourth one is brand strategy decision, and the last one is brand repositioning decision. All these decisions are very crucial, and let us take each decision one by one and try to understand the details related with the decision, or how marketers are actually taking or dealing with all these decision possibilities. So first decision, should a brand be developed for the product or not? That is, whether to brand or not to brand. Now suppose as a marketer you decide, I am not going to brand my product. So if you are not going to brand your product, don't you think your entire branding decision ends here? There is no need to move further to second, third or fourth or fifth steps of branding decision. You decided as a marketer, I am going to offer my product as an unbranded product. That's all. No need to think about the brand name, no need to think about who is going to invest on the brand sponsorship, no need to think about strategizing the different brand and repositioning possibilities. So if you decide not to brand, finish. If you decide I want to brand, then you have to have moved further. So what will be the next thing? Next thing is brand sponsorship decision. Brand sponsorship decision means who is going to invest to create the identity of brand, who is going to invest resources, time, energy, money, efforts, who is going to devote that kind of resources to make this brand a successful brand at a marketplace. So there might be 3 possibilities. One possibility, that manufacturer, or it will be a manufacturer's brand, where manufacturer took the onus to create identity, to invest the resources. So whosoever is manufacturing, that manufacturer is building the brand with investment of his or her resources. So manufacturer brand. Then we have the retailers or distributors brand. Retailer or distributor brand means they are not the manufacturer, they are actually the partner, they are the channel, they are the distributor, they are the retailer. But nowadays we are finding these distributor and retailers are such a big in size, somehow they are bigger than the manufacturer of a product. Can anyone claim that many of the organization, manufacturing organization size might be less than the size of Walmart, Amazon, Flipkart, or even the Reliance Retail? Possible? So these retailers are having such a significant power in their hand, they might think, why to go with the manufacturer brand? Why not make our own brand? That's possible, and they are doing. So retailer and distributors brands are also possible. And finally, the third possibility where we may have a kind of license agreement, where the organization, the parent is providing the license to the different organization to use their brand, and accordingly the parent is providing certain kind of input and other organizations are using the brand beautifully. So let's take the example, manufacturer brand. Any particular brand which is manufactured by the organization, and accordingly the organization took the onus for popularizing the brand. So take any consumer durables, they have their own factory. Take any automobiles, they have their own factory, they are building the cars, they are building the durables, and they took the onus to popularize a distinctive feature, to popularize a brand and create a distinctive image in the mind of customer. So that's what manufacturer brand. What about the distributor or retailer brand? We may find many in-shop brands available in different retail outlets. For example, if we go to Spencer's, we are finding a Smart Choice, a brand name which is sellable in Spencer's for different kind of items which we use on day-to-day basis. Reliance Retail is having their own brand. Tata is having their own brand in terms of electronic items, where they are talking the Croma in-house brand of Tata, even though they have the name of retail outlet also Croma, but inside that Croma you may find the several electronic items which is not actually manufactured by Tata, but they are giving the brand name, the tag name Croma. What about the licensed brand? Thomas Cook Holidays, Disney. All these particular license they are providing to different organizations, they are running it beautifully by holding the strength of brand and by making the image of brand intact. It's possible and it's happening. Next one is, if you decide who is going to invest resources on brand, the next element is you have to decide what will be the name of brand, because I hope you remember in our first class we tried to differentiate positioning with the brand. Positioning is creating a distinctive image and attaching a term, sign, symbol for a recall purpose of that differential point is a brand. And by and large that differential point we remember with the name of brand. So brand name decision is a very crucial, very strategic decision, and if you are able to coin a beautiful brand name which represent the attributes and benefit, don't you think the chances of winning market will be high? Let's take an example. All Out. Whenever I say all out, immediately in our mind comes a kind of device or a kind of product which can make mosquito to go out from your home. All Out, such a beautiful name, represent the benefits and easy to recall, possible, and that's why it's very crucial decision what will be the brand name of our decided product which need to be branded. So there are different options for brand name. The first option is individual brand name, then we are having blanket family name, then we are having separate family name, and finally company trade name with product name. Every decision is having its pros and cons. If I talk about the individual brand name, what does it mean? It means every product, even in the same product line, may have a different brand name, and very popular or very known kind of example which we may have for individual brand name, HUL, Hindustan Unilever Limited, HUL, even in the category of soap, is having different brand name. So HUL may have a Lifebuoy, at the same time Liril, may have Hamam, may have Lux, may have Dove, different brand name in the same category, representing or catering to the different segment requirement. So this is what individual brand name. Why company is opting for individual brand name? Remember, if you have individual brand name, then you don't carry any kind of baggage with you. So if anything, if you are making effort to popularize individual brand name without any baggage at your back, you are free to create that impression. You are free to create that new kind of impression. So it's a benefit in certain manner. So if anything happen bad with certain brand, it is not going to create a negative impression for other brands of the same organization. So you are somehow shock proof. You are somehow good enough to carry your individual identity. This is biggest advantage. But what's the disadvantage? If you are creating for every product a different brand name, don't you think you need lots of resources? You need resources to popularize each and every brand, and it's not possible for a small organization to go for. It's possible for only big organization to think and create the different brand name for different kind of product and invest that huge amount of resources to popularize. Okay, this is what individual brand name is. Now just think about the blanket family name. Don't you think you are getting certain kind of impression in your mind? When I say blanket family name, what does it mean? You are simply covering the entire family with a blanket. What does it mean? It means the organization is having one single brand name for every product in the kitty of organization. Possible? Can you recall any particular brand name with the same kind of blanket family name feature? Just think over a minute. Let's have meanwhile the advantage and disadvantage. So whatever we discussed as advantage for individual brand name, that turns out to be disadvantage for blanket family name. So in case of blanket family name, different product line or different product in a same product line having a same brand name carries a big baggage on the back. If anything adverse happen with some product in a product line, it may have lot of implication for other brands to suffer for. This is the biggest disadvantage. And the disadvantage which we discussed in the individual, that turns out to be the advantage for blanket. So if you are having one single brand name, it means you need not to commit huge amount of resources. So if you are popularizing one brand and able to create a distinctive image, launch the different product with the same brand name and your resource consumption will be less. Agree? So advantage of one become disadvantage of other, and disadvantage of one become the advantage of other. That's the beauty. Now you are able to recall any particular blanket family name? I am giving you one example. Let's take the example of Himalaya. Agree? Himalaya, known to every one of us, they have lots of Ayurvedic products, lots of products related with Ayurvedic benefit or the different natural benefits, and every product is having one single name, that is Himalaya. That's all. Just see the beauty. Earlier we were having Himalaya, even though having a related kind of products. Earlier we were having one example, T series. When Gulshan Kumar was alive, T series was very popular brand and he ventured into the different domains. It was not only related with the music company T series, he started producing the movies, he started manufacturing the electronic device or electric device, television, radio set, music system with T series brand name. He started certain kind of service industry in terms of T series hotels and restaurants, and every particular dissimilar kind of product was having the same brand name of T series, so popular at that point of time. So this is what blanket family name. Now come to the next one, separate family name. What exactly this is? This is actually a hybrid of individual and blanket family name. So whatever the advantage, disadvantage we discuss with the first two, that becomes in-how, or rather to say somehow the advantage for this separate family name. So you identify one family name for one category of product line. You might be feeling a little difficulty in terms of understanding the product line, but at this point of time, because we will deal the product and product line in our next module, that will be the module 7, here just try to understand the product line is certain related kind of product the company offering in its kitty. That's what product line is. So for understanding at this point of time. So if you are creating one single family name for a similar kind of product, it may have a beauty where you can save your resources, and it may have a beauty where might be you have lots of other product line, but every product line is having a distinctive brand name. So you are enjoying the certain benefit of resource saving, as well as you are enjoying that particular advantage where certain adverse position is not harming the entire product line of the organization. Let us take the example, Samsung Galaxy. Now Galaxy range of Samsung, sometimes people argue whether Galaxy is a bigger brand. Certain articles, certain researchers argued Samsung is a bigger brand or Galaxy. Galaxy is so much popular, so whenever Samsung try to launch any particular luxurious kind of product, they use the term Galaxy, and it become a separate family name altogether. Last one, corporate name tagged with the individual brand name. Now this is again one of the strategy, this is again one of the factors when your corporate identity is somehow such a big corporate identity, and you created a distinctive image for your entire corporate as a persona in the mind of consumer, then you can go for this corporate name with individual product name, and it is a very common practice by many conglomerates throughout the world. So we may have Samsung, with every product line name Samsung is attached. We may have Tata. So even in Tata Automobiles we may have different products, say Tiago, we may have Nexa, Nexon, we may have Safari, but Tata is attached. We have Tata Consultancy, we have Tata Tea, we have different kind, Tata Tanishq, Tata Titan. So Tata is attached with every particular brand name, and this corporate identity provides a clear cut advantage where creating a distinctive image, even though holding the individual brand name, good enough to go for, and this is very crucial decision, and I hope you understand the nitty-gritty of the brand name decision. Let us try to find out the different kind of test which we are supposed to conduct with brand name, because brand name, if it is not simple, if it is not easy to pronounce or recall, if it is not easier to recognize, or even if it conveyed different meaning in different culture, different country, we may have problem as a marketer. Let us take an example. At one point of time, Ambassador Nova of Hindustan Motor was a very popular, in fact the number one model at at the marketplace in India. Fine. But suppose if Ambassador Nova, the brand name which Hindustan Motor carried successfully in India in last century, suppose Hindustan Motor want to enter into Spanish market with the same brand name, Ambassador Nova, what would have been the implication? In Spanish, Nova means something which can't move, and you are making a brand name of a car Ambassador Nova. So that's a very crucial thing. You have to understand the meaning, the possibility of understanding of name to decide your own brand name. That is why there are different tests to find out which brand name is good to go for. So first test is association test. Association test means what image comes to mind. That's what we checked in the first lecture when we talked about the different brand name, and immediately what impression comes in your mind. When I talked about Mercedes, when I talked about McDonald, when I talked about Ambassador, when I talked about any particular Swiss watchmaker, say Rolex, Rado, what impression comes in your mind? That is what association test is. Next one is learning test. How easily the name pronounced? That's very crucial, and that's a very funny story. Few months back, when I was moving on the roads of Varanasi, one individual came to me and asked one address. He simply asked me, "Sir, can you tell me where this bank is situated?" I said, "Which bank?" He said, "IndusInd Bank." I was amazed. I was not knowing this kind of name, IndusInd Bank. Then I somehow tried to refine the pronunciation of that person, and immediately I recognized possibly the person was asking IndusInd Bank rather than IndusInd Bank. Just imagine, if your brand name is difficult to pronounce, how will it be possible to recall? That is what learning test is. Several German brands in India might have this issue. What will you say, Volkswagen or Volkswagen? An automobile car manufacturer. So two different pronunciation for a same brand. It's possible. And this is what learning tests we are talking about. How easily the name can be pronounced. Then memory test. How well is the name remembered? How well is the name remembered? That is what memory test. So maybe we are giving you certain clues. Maybe you have to recognize the certain characters. Maybe you need to recognize the certain kind of jingles. Just think about, if I am showing you the girl of one very famous milk brand of India, don't you able to recognize this is related with Amul? This is what memory test talks about. Last one is preference test. Which names are preferred? So you may have, whenever organization decide, I have to name the brand either individual or a blanket family or a separate family or corporate name with a brand name. Whatever decision you have to have name the brand. Now whenever you decide, whenever you try to name the brand, it might not be one single flow or one single name comes in your mind and which you finalize. Usually it's an array of names which reflects, which come from different sources, and then you try to find out which one is the best one, which one communicates the best possible differential factor, which one can communicate the different things which we perceived with a brand name. And that's what the last test talks about in terms of preference test. Last decision, very crucial decision, the brand repositioning. Just think any particular brand name which is having a legacy of more than a decade, maybe a legacy of half century, maybe a full century, possible. Lots of brands are there. Lots of brands are there, and time to time they recognize to remain a good impression or to remain in the market competition, they have to reposition their brand. They have to enter into a new market with certain kind of repositioning exercise. Let's take one classical example. Lux, known to every one of us. Lux, a beauty bar. And from beginning, from independence, Lux brand is always related with the Bollywood beauties. So whosoever was or whosoever is the number one Bollywood actress used to be a model for a Lux. So Lux established its brand identity as a beauty bar for one kind of gender. But later on, last decade or last to last decade, when Lux realized the beauty concerns are not limited with one gender, the other gender is also getting beauty conscious. So they try to reposition it, and they robbed the heartthrob of the Bollywood, Shah Rukh Khan, and they robbed that particular actor to enter into bathtub and surrounded by the Bollywood beauties of different era to just emphasize how good the Lux was for those gender, for that gender, and how good it is going to be for male also. So it's not only for female. They associated the different beauties of Bollywood over different period, and Shah Rukh Khan represented the Lux uses just to show, just to reposition. It's not good only for female, it's good for male also. That's what repositioning is, and that's what the beauty of repositioning. So time to time, every brand goes with certain kind of repositioning. Time to time, every brand think, why not to create, why not to enter into a new market with creation of certain new identity related with the existing one. If you try to deviate altogether, then it will be a difficult exercise and it can't be considered as a brand repositioning. It may be the entire branding exercise we have to revisit. So what we learned, the summary, branding is not just visual, it's a strategic. That's what we understand. The 5 decisions of branding, very strategic, very crucial, and very resource consuming. Every decision shapes perception and audience reach. That's what we are representing, whether it's a name decision, whether it's a sponsorship decision, whether it's related with the different strategies which we may need to opt for the brands. For example, when we talk about the branding strategies, possibly we missed to discuss a little bit of things related with branding strategies before repositioning. For example, when we talk about the branding strategies, there are certain elements which we have to take into consideration. First thing, we may go for a product line extension strategy. What is product line? I am just writing it here, the 4 decision, that is what branding strategy. Now branding strategy comes before repositioning, and the first one is product line extension. Product line extension. What exactly product line extension? It means you are launching the different products in the same product line and you are just taking the help of the same brand name. So, you are launching the different variants of a product, say Dove Pink, Dove Aloe Vera, Dove this, Dove that, same brand name but different variants. It is a product line extension. When you are launching a new product line but with same brand name, that is called brand extension. That is called brand extension when you are launching a new product line. So, Dove soap, now you are launching the Dove hair care products, a new kind of product line. So, new product line with same brand name, that is called brand extension. Then we may have the next strategy, that is called multi-brand or maybe the co-branding strategy. Now, what is multi-brand or co-brand strategy? Similar to the individual brand name, we are holding the different brand names for different kind of product line. Or we may have a possibility when you find there are two big brands are coming together and both brands are holding certain kind of value in the mind of customer. So, why not to combine these two brands all together? And if you combine these two brands all together, you create a new identity, and that is what happening. That is what a proposition through which many organizations worked before the privatization, liberalization and globalization era. So, Suzuki came into India with a brand name Maruti Suzuki. Hero was associated with Honda, Hero Honda. Agree? The same trend we are finding in insurance sector where we are having ICICI Prudential, two big brand name. Fine. So, whenever you are combining the two brand name and creating one new identity, that is again a kind of branding strategy, and we need to understand that. And finally, what we learned, the strongest brand have clarity, consistency and relevance. This is what utmost requirement for any particular brand to go for, or this is the utmost requirement of every organization to achieve with branding decisions. So, if you want to learn more with assignment, I am giving you one assignment and I am suggesting you one further reading. You name a brand that uses a different names for different product. Why might they do that? Why actually they are doing the same? Just recall your experience, your purchases. If you are a new observer, if you are a close observer, then you may do this exercise in a much rigorous manner. And if you have further interest, read the Harvard Business Review article, How Great Brands Are Built, which will give you a certain insights related with brand building exercise. So, thank you a lot for your patience, for your understanding and learning the beauty of branding with lots of example. I suppose the things are clear as a consumer to understand the power of brand. Things are clear as a marketer or to be marketer, to be a professional marketer, how to leverage this branding decision for the benefit of organization. Thanks again.